This is Staccato from the Second Street Dreams Audio Network. I'm Judelyn Gibson. This week, I have a note dotting the classical music landscape at the intersection of early music and video games. This is the DS era from the video game Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
I mean, lots and lots of games use the DS era chant. That's just everywhere these days because it's the one thing that everybody knows means death, right? Or something, some danger.
Dr. Karen Cook is a big gamer at the University of Hartford in Connecticut.
I'm an early music scholar and I'm also a video game music scholar. So when the two can meet in the middle, I'm a very happy camper. But I do play a lot of games. Well, a lot is a relative term, right? There's way too many to play, but I try to get familiar with a lot of games. And it's always interesting to see how people choose to use different kinds of early music or how they try to evoke that sense of medievalness or pastness if they're not using real early music.
Considering that early music spans 1,000 years, up to the 1700s or so, and video games have only been with us a bit over 60 years, why is early music used in a variety of video games?
Music before a certain point in time, you don't have any copyright, you don't have to pay any royalties, it's free. So if you choose to set it or arrange it, you know, it's a lot less expensive to do that than hiring somebody to write brand new music, right? And that's often what happened in the real early days of video games, you know, like the Nintendo era.
One of the early music composers, whose music is often used in video games, is Hildegard van Bingen, the nun, composer, healer, and mystic of the late 12th century.
She also shows up as a character in a game called a really recent game called Inculinati, which is all based on the little marginalia, the characters in the margins of the manuscripts, like little rabbits with swords or snails with shields, right? And she's a character in that game that you have to defeat, which is hilarious to me.
Cook says there are a few other games with true early music.
One of the big ones that has come out recently is called Pentiment. There is an actual medieval music ensemble with medieval music experts who play in the ensemble who did the score, and they use actual medieval and Renaissance pieces in the score. It's set in 16th century Bavaria.
What's he doing?
All right, agreed.
And there is one particular game from 2011, Assassin's Creed Revelations, where the main character, throughout the games, he's aging. He's getting older. In Revelations, he's older, middle-aged, and he has to disguise himself as a minstrel, because it's about stealth, right? It's assassin. He goes to this party dressed as one of the wandering minstrels, and he's playing his lute and singing fairly badly. When he finds the person, battle breaks out and he snaps the neck of his lute off and uses it to stab one of the people. Amazing scene that involves this early instrument.
So what's on Dr. Karen Cook's Christmas list?
I know that I'm really excited to pick up the new Assassin's Creed game. It's called Mirage, and it is set in Baghdad. I'm expecting to hear some music that's going to set the scene in the Middle East and maybe also be sort of representative of the time period. So that's a big one for me that I'm excited about.
We will be watching.
Also on the list, the new Baldur's Gate game and Ratchet and Clank, which she admits is just for the game because that one has nothing to do with early music. Find the links on the Staccato page at secondstreetdreams.com. That's Staccato. I'm Judelyn Gibson on the Second Street Dreams Audio Network.